Welcome, welcome. It is time for manifesting. And when you think about it, it is time to manifest 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day. We are ready to go here at Dynamic Destiny's headquarters. And it is our open Q&A time on social media. And we are going to be addressing a number of questions today as it relates to you and your dreams and manifesting them into form. So if that's something that you would absolutely love to experience, for you to manifest something that you have in your heart, that you've been thinking about, maybe even been struggling with to some degree, then we're going to address the questions today. There have been a number of questions that have been submitted in advance, and there are 7, I believe, in total so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive right into the questions that have been submitted in advance. And then anyone that's here, anyone that's with us right now, that's on the live open Q&A, if you have a question, then please type it in and I'm going to address it. So it looks like we've got a number of folks that are here. Welcome. Natalie's here. Good to see you again, Natalie. Dolly, Dawn, Brenda. I know Roddy's here with us as well. And Roddy is from the Dynamic Destinies team, and he's going to be grabbing the questions that are appearing either on Instagram or on Facebook, and he'll ensure that I will get them for you. So I wanted to address these questions, but there was something I wanted to share with you as well. Earlier this week, I was recording a video, and the idea behind the video was a very short video that was recorded for the memorial for Bob Proctor, which is happening on the 27th of February. And one of the things that was suggested when creating this video is share one of the most valuable lessons that you learned from Bob Proctor. And as many of you know, I studied with Bob Proctor for 43 years. So to think of just one lesson, can be a challenge. I mean, there were so many things that he taught me right from the very first evening that I met him in January 1979. And quite often I've said the greatest lesson that I ever learned from Bob is that you don't have to know how you're going to accomplish that amazing goal, that stretch goal that you've set for yourself. But you must feel as if it's here now, and that's Bob's teaching, it's Neville's teaching, it's my teaching, it's everybody's teaching who's teaching this effectively. But here's what I said, and this is another quote that I heard from Bob. This is not verbatim, but you're going to get the understanding of it. And it goes like this: no amount of reading, no amount of going to seminars, no amount of studying the books or watching the videos is going to bring you anything unless and until you understand it and you apply it. So the understanding must be there. And I believe that why I was put on this planet is to give people the simplistic understanding. Because from my extensive study, what I've discovered is that success is simple. It may not be always easy, although I believe we can choose for it to be easy. But one of the reasons why it's challenging is because we're programmed a certain way. And so Bob said you got to understand it and apply it. So here's where I see, from observation from others who have the deep desire to change your life in positive ways. Here's where I see is the missing link, if you will. And there's a number of them, but one of them is the missing link is they're not applying the principles to success. Now, why are people not applying the principles for success? One reason is because they don't know what to do. They don't know how. We had a meeting earlier this morning with our marketing gentleman, and Roddy and I did, and we were talking about the Power Life Script program. Now, I'm going to assume that everybody who's on this call has a Power Life Script, and if you don't, get one, right? Just go to powerlifescript.com. Power Life Script is a way of really changing your programming. Now, why would you want to change your programming? Because when you change your programming that's deep within your subconscious mind, you're effectively changing your beliefs. And when you change your beliefs, you change your life. Now, the process is that you must first allow those ideas to enter your consciousness. And with space-time repetition, you impress them into your subconscious mind. That's what a Power Life Script will do. And then you're going to act differently, you're going to feel differently, you're going to be differently, you're going to develop different habits and behaviors, and then your results will change. And Bob often used to say this quote, "By their results you will know them." And if someone wants to know what someone else is like, just look at their results. Or if you want to know what you're like, you can look at your results. But here's what I suggest. Do not look at your results with a critical eye or as a judge. You want to look at your results only from a place of observation, only from a place of, okay, well, if I look at the results that I've created in my life, what am I willing to learn from it? Now, I'm not saying you harbor that and you invest all kinds of time just staring at what's wrong, and that's not what I'm saying whatsoever. It's important to have the knowledge, because knowledge, as you know, can be valuable when it's used. A simple example of that is someone that has a desire to be in a happy, loving, lasting, phenomenal relationship. And if that's not what they've experienced in the past, then there's something, perhaps a belief that's deeply rooted, that is not serving them. And even though they may attract someone into their life, they'll sabotage it because their belief is something like this: relationships equal massive pain. Or if you get in a relationship, the other one's going to cheat on you. Or you get into a relationship, inevitably it's going to enter into all kinds of problems or restrictions or whatever. Where do those beliefs come from? Well, some of those beliefs come from your childhood. They come from when you were really young. And I know for me, like as an observer, you know, watching my parents and seeing the way my father was behaving, told me, or I built a belief within me, that men cheat. Do all men cheat? No, they do not all cheat. But that was my belief. And that became something that in my early days, you know, when I was young, that I would expect it. I would almost assume it. And then I'd have a relationship breakup, and then I just expect that you get another relationship, it's going to end. So I realized that there were some beliefs that were within my subconscious mind that definitely needed to change. And through space-time repetition, using my Power Life script, I changed it. Now, once I changed a belief, then I attracted everything requisite for the fulfillment of my desire into my life. And that's the process of creation. That's the understanding. But the application is using something like a Power Life script, or being a student, or being a serious student, or being here like you are right now with us while we're addressing any needs that you may have. So we have, as I mentioned, 7 questions that were submitted in advance. And I'm going to go to the first question now. And it is the following. And the person that's asked the question is a happy keto dancer. So not the name, but anyways, either way, happy to answer your question, happy keto dancer. Here's what this person says. My problem is, now, first of all, I haven't even read the rest of this yet. Don't assume you have a problem. I would suggest change the word. This is a perception thing, which means you're going to look at it differently. So here's what I would say. My opportunity is, because this is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to change the way you're looking at things. And when you change the way you look at things, then everything else changes as well. So the opportunity is, I'm going to change it in your question. My opportunity is that I can't choose from things I want. Oh, okay. So as long as you declare that to the universe, you know what you're going to get? You won't be able to choose. Stop saying that. Overly simplistic, yes, but it's true. You've got to allow yourself to choose what you want. You could say, I easily know and choose my top goals. So then they go on. How do you know from all your dreams which one to go for? Writing, coaching with horses, ballet, Bach flower remedies, tarot, I love it all. Okay. Which one do you love most? And it's not that you can't do all those things. Like, I do many things. I'm involved in a number of things. But typically the project that I'm working on at a time is something that I'm feeling drawn to do, and something that I feel that I'm passionate about. All right. So it's not that you're not going to do all these things. You may do all of those things. And so you can certainly do that. Sorry, I just saw a comment on there that distracted me for a moment. So just choose the one that you feel you want to work on. It doesn't mean you don't have passion for all of them. Just choose one and work on it, get it going really well, and then get the other one going well. All right, Olga, and her question is, thank God it's Wednesday. I'm so glad and grateful to see you again. Well, I'm grateful for you too, Olga. Could you please share what is the most effective, according to you, visualization technique? Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Great question. I would say the greatest visualization technique is a guided audio. Now, my Power Life script invites me to visualize myself living my dream life now. When it's written effectively. You know, this morning I received a Power Life script from one of our clients. It's one of our high-end clients who's in our Skipping Levels program. And he had sent it to me to have me evaluated. And I made that offer to our Skipping Levels members. I don't do it for everyone and anyone because I simply don't have the time. We've got thousands of people that use Power Life script. But this individual sent me his Power Life script. And it was really well done. But there's one area that I noticed that could be done better, and I made some suggestions. And even though the Power Life script may sound like a lot of statements or affirmations in the affirmative that really reflect the things that you desire, what's most important is when you're listening to your Power Life script that you're feeling it in your heart. Well, how do you feel it in your heart? By seeing it in your mind's eye. So when you close your eyes, so let's use a great example for any author that's out there right now. Any author that desires to have their book be a success, what would they be seeing were their book a success? Well, they would likely be seeing their book on top of a bestseller list. They'd likely see royalty payments coming in. They would likely see themselves doing things that they wouldn't normally do, you know, if they hadn't already earned or attracted all that income into their life. And something else that just came to my mind, they might see themselves, and of course you get to choose, right? You get to choose how you want to live your life. So they may see themselves on some big television show and seeing the live audience there, you know, some major television show that has millions of viewers. They may see their own social media following go up significantly. They might see their videos on YouTube have millions and millions of views. I mean, what would you see were you to accomplish that goal? And then you script it. It becomes part of your Power Life script. So when you're listening to your Power Life script and you have your earbuds on, or you're just playing, you know, with it, you know, playing on a speaker, you're imagining yourself right into that experience of you living that dream life. And the more vividly real it's written, the more you're going to see it in your mind's eye. So that's one way, Olga. Another suggestion is we created, again, for our Skipping Levels members, we created a meditation. I created it. And we give it to our Skipping Levels members. And every once in a while, Vladdy will give it away as a bonus to folks that are considering getting in some of our programs, some of our high-end programs. But what it is a guided meditation that invites you, just like I'm explaining right here, to see yourself and to be in the experience of the desired outcome. So what this involves is using your imagination. And, you know, there's people that, you know, have vision boards, and I'm pointing over there because my vision board is over there. And some people would say a vision board is a great visualization technique. And it depends. It depends on if you're actually using your vision board, whether you're emotionally connecting to your vision board when you're investing time with it, how much time a day you're actually focused on, you know, looking at those pictures and then imagining yourself right into the picture. It depends on what's on your vision board. I've seen people, you know, put things on their vision board which are just, you know, magazine clippings or whatever, but there's none of them. Like there's not a photo of them or nothing that really depicts them and their life that really gives a clear example of them living that life. So there's a lot of pieces of this manifestation process that must be done in a way that ultimately has you feeling the feeling states of having that which you desire. And when you're using the tool, like a Power Life script, that you're really seeing it in your mind's eye, that you're imagining it. So as an example, one of the things that I have in my Power Life script is this beautiful waterfront property that we own. And so what do I see? I see myself laying in the hammock that we have installed between two trees, and I'm reading a wonderful book. And I'm hearing the sounds of the water hit against the shore, right? So what does that do? It creates a picture in your mind, or in my mind in this case, it creates the picture through not only the sense of sight, but through the sense of hearing as well. Because this is how we take in information, right? And what Neville Goddard says in order to manifest something different from what you're currently experiencing is to deny the evidence of the senses. And this is another reason why people don't accomplish their goals, is they keep looking at their bank account, they have a desire for more money, or they're looking at their debt load and they have a desire for more money, but they stay emotionally involved in looking at what they don't want, right? That's what they're seeing, that's what they're feeling, and then they're seeing it and they're feeling it. And what are they doing? They're just intensifying that feeling state, which creates more of the same. They attract more debt, they attract less money, because that's what they're giving their attention to. So the best way for you to really effectively experience the desires that you have is to be a very serious visualizer, using tools such as Power Life Script to remember the most important aspect of manifesting is to feel as if you have it now. So that's why when I review someone's Power Life Script, what am I seeing even as I'm reading it? And you can look at your own and find that too. Like when you're looking at your own Power Life Script, what are you seeing? What are you feeling as you're reviewing it? And if it's not effective, do it again, do it again, do it again. I'm going to be revising mine a little bit later today. And I'm doing that because I just completed my 20th book, Savvy Wisdom 2. And so I'm going to add some things as it relates to seeing the success of Savvy Wisdom 2. So you update your Power Life Script when you have another goal, when you have a desire for something else in your life, or when you want to intensify a certain belief that you know is going to help you, or when you want to expand on what you're actually seeing in your mind's eye so that you really do feel the result while you're listening to it. All right, the next question is from Mayor Ling, and she says, how long will we need to hold a happy thought to produce a happy feeling? That is a great question. You know, there are, some people who say, 37 seconds. Some people will say, whatever. I mean, I've heard different answers to that question, but how long do you need to hold a happy thought to produce a happy feeling? A second. Like as soon as you feel a happy, or you think a happy thought, you should be feeling a happy feeling. It's connected. Our brain is connected to our heart, right? It should be instantaneous. Now, the question was, how long will we need to hold a happy thought to produce a happy feeling? You can get the happy feeling within a matter of seconds, but to really hold it, this should be something that you're investing a considerable amount of time on. So with the Power Life Script, when I'm listening to my Power Life Script, I'm in a whole happy experience. When I'm walking down the hallway in my home and I'm imagining myself right into the feeling of my wishes fulfilled, I'm having a happy experience. When I'm laying in bed at night and getting ready to go to sleep and I'm thinking about, now that my wish is fulfilled, how do I feel? I'm in a happy experience. When I wake up in the morning and I grab my gratitude journal and start writing in my gratitude, I'm having a happy experience. When I'm doing my affirmations, when I'm doing my mirror work, whatever. You can be having a happy experience all day long. And I would encourage all of you to do that, because the simple truth is how you're feeling is based on what you attract. There's a quote in the book's in the other room. There's a quote in As a Man Thinketh by James Allen that basically says, if you're feeling happy, you're going to attract everything that's going to produce happiness in your life. So what you feel, you attract. So you feel good, you attract good. You feel bad, you attract bad. It's simple. It really is simple. And you got to understand it. And then pay attention to what am I feeling? What am I feeling consistently? I mean, there are people, and I'm sure you know them. I used to be one of them many years ago, 43 plus years ago, that are miserable. They walk around with a frown on their face. They criticize everything. They're whining, moaning, complaining. They get into bed, like that kind of thing. And they drag their butt all through the day and can't wait to get to bed at night. There goes another day and they're just neat. There's people like that, right? There's a lot of people like that. Now, I don't think there's anybody here, but as I said, I used to be like that. So because I was like that before, miserable, what was I attracting into my life? More misery, more things that were reflective of what I was feeling. And that's why when I met Bob Proctor and he quoted Vernon Howard and he said, you can't escape from a prison unless you know you're in one. Well, I was in a prison of my own making. Most people are in the prison of their own making. If you want to know where the challenge is or why you're not manifesting your goal, just go and look in the mirror. But if you want to also find out how to get to your goal, go and look in the mirror as well, because you've got great power within you. You've got the ability to manifest your desires, but you've got to do the work. And the work is not that complicated. It takes time. It takes work and investment of time and energy. But once you do it, it's going to be great. This morning my husband and I went for a drive downtown, and we're talking about someone that we know who doesn't live in our city, and we don't really know them that well. And we're talking about how they're living in the past. And how they're living in the past is by looking at things that they could have done years ago and didn't. And they're all upset at themselves. And my husband was having a conversation with this person and said, listen, as long as you're living in the past, you're just going to create more of the same. And he's absolutely right. And I was telling him that this individual did go to a seminar one time, and I remember when they did, and they loved the materials, but did nothing, absolutely nothing afterwards. And that's really what I talked about earlier on this call when Bob said, no amount of going to seminars, reading the books, watching the videos is going to do anything for you unless and until you understand it and you apply it. But the truth is, you don't even have to understand it. You could be an unconscious competent, which means you're manifesting, and there's a lot of people that do this. They're manifesting, they don't even know how they're manifesting, but it's a natural process for them to think about what they want, feel as if they have it, and then they manifest it. They don't even realize what they're doing. And so the application part is absolutely essential. It's something that can't be missed, cannot be missed. It's an ingredient that will not produce the results that you want unless it's there. It's like if I went in my kitchen to bake a carrot cake and I didn't put any carrots in it, I'm not gonna have a carrot cake, right? It's the most important ingredient in the cake. And that's what we're talking about here. The most important ingredient in you manifesting is being in the study, and make it habitual that you're studying these materials all the time, all the time. By the way, I just had a thought. We're doing an event on the 8th of March, totally free. It's 4 hours. It's called The Belief Day. TheBeliefDay.com is where you can go and find out more about it. And the reason why I'm doing this event is because your beliefs are determining everything about you. How you're thinking, how you're operating, your habits, your behaviors, and of course, are reflected in your results. So if you want to change your results, you got to change your beliefs, or also known as your paradigms. So we're calling it the Belief Day because we're going to talk about how those beliefs got there in the first place, the ones that are empowering and the ones that are disempowering, and how do you change them. All right, so sign up for that event, totally free. Bring your friends. We're going to record it if you can't be there live, because I know we got people from all over the world. But definitely it's a free event that we're going to be delivering. I love that. Diana says, for kids, I think it's easily. Yeah, for kids it is easier. But don't think that it's not easy for adults, because you just get out of your own way, right? Just start to realize it is easy. It's easy for you when you give it your attention. Okay, Denise is saying, is perfect purpose different from having a vision? If so, how, and should we have both? I would say, purpose is more like, why do you think you're here? Like, I believe my purpose is to make a positive and beneficial contribution to the lives of hundreds of millions of people. That is my purpose. It's also my vision. So could they be the same? Yeah. So when I think of what I intend on doing and creating in this world, as far as tools, resources, programs, etc., then I know that everything that I produce is going to be in alignment with my vision. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I believe that when we understand what our purpose is, and we get to choose, by the way, it isn't something that's predetermined. You get to choose what you believe the purpose or the vision is of your own life. When you choose that and make decisions accordingly, then you can manifest anything that you want, or you can make decisions easily. Sorry, I'm getting distracted from the messages that are coming in on my phone. So because I know what my purpose is, if I get a request from someone to do something or to be interviewed, or I get an idea for another book or a program or whatever, I just simply connect to, is this in alignment with my purpose? If it is, great, I'm going to do it. If it's not, then I'm not going to do it. Easy as that. Thank you, Bob Proctor, Brazil. Hey, Tommy Collier, hello to you. Good to see you. All right, let's keep going here. We've got another question here. The next question is from Maria. All right, this is a really interesting question, and the book actually is in the other room, as I mentioned, but I've been studying this book regularly. So here's Maria's question. Yes, I have a question regarding the Serenity chapter in As a Man Thinketh. In the second paragraph, a man becomes calm in the measure that he understands himself as a thought-evolved being. For such knowledge necessitates the understanding of others as the result of thought. And as he develops a right understanding and sees more and more clearly the internal relations of things by the cause and effect, he ceases to fuss and fume and worry and grieve and remains poised, steadfast, serene. Peggy, can you please explain what he means by, for such knowledge necessitates the understanding of others as the result of thought? I'm having a hard time understanding what he means in that particular part of the paragraph. Okay, what he means by that is when you understand yourself and how you are a creative being, and he gave a great example there, you'll understand others are the same, right? Bob Proctor used to say, by their fruits you will know them, right? So if you look at someone that has produced amazing results in their life, what do you know about that person? You know that they're very positive, that they have a really strong belief system that supports them. They're very likely an action taker, also a serious student. They apply what they learn, and that would give you that understanding. But you have that understanding because you come to understand yourself. The more you understand yourself, the more you'll understand others, because we're all the same. We all have the same potential. We all have the same potential. And before we got on our call today, I was reading from one of Ernest Holmes' books, and in there, Ernest Holmes was talking about, what you want for yourself, want for others. And he wasn't saying it in that way, but that was the idea. In other words, the more you see other people creating success in their life, the more you give energy to someone else creating success in their life. And if you help them as well, it's good for you. Good comes back to you. But even the idea of understanding that somebody else, and I see for you what you love, it's like your success is a part of our success. That's why we're here. That's what we do at Dynamic Destinies, is we help other people experience success, because we know there's so much more potential within you. We know that there's so much more that you could be experiencing in your life. You truly could be living an abundant life, and it doesn't matter where you come from. And so this is really what he was talking about, James Allen is talking about, is the more you understand yourself, the more you're going to understand others as well. That's really what he means by that. All right, Nancy has a question here. Is my C goal my life's purpose, or is it just a part of my purpose? Can your purpose be as simple as being, for example, the best mother and person you can be? That seems more important than being wonderfully entertaining in my writings. Or is your purpose more of an overall arching theme of your life? Yes, it's more of an arching theme of your life. A C-type goal is something that you'll know when you've accomplished it. It's usually measurable. So when you have a C-type goal and you look at it, how will you know that's accomplished? If it's a financial goal, it's easy. So let's say your C-type goal is that you're so happy and grateful that you're easily earning $10 million this year in personal income. How will you know when you've accomplished that goal? When you're, T4 in Canada, or what we submit to the government when it's income tax time, the record of employment or whatever, shows that you have generated $10 million. That's how you'll know. So when you're writing out a C-type goal, a goal that you have no idea how you're ever going to accomplish, then you also need to ask yourself, how will I know when I've accomplished this goal? Another one might be that you are manifesting a beautiful dream home. So this morning when I was reviewing our skipping level client's Power Life script, he was talking about the home that he intends to buy. And he was describing it from square footage to the color of the garage doors. I mean, and how will he know when he owns it, right? It's simple and very easy to understand. That's how you will know. Okay, next question's from Miriel, and she says, I can ask a question. Do you recommend to read all the affirmations daily or so many per day? Thank you and have a blessed day. Okay, great question, Miriel. It doesn't matter what you're reading. It doesn't matter what affirmations you have. You know, I have pages of affirmations that I read every single day. Do I need to read pages of affirmations? No, I choose to, because I know that the affirmations that I choose to read are strengthening my belief system, as well as the other things that I'm doing. But it's not about what we're doing that creates the results. What's most important, and this I believe is the Peggy McColl biggest lesson that's out there. What's most important is how do you feel? You've got to be feeling as if you have the results that you desire to have in your life. So if reading a couple affirmations helps you with getting into that spirit of knowing that that goal is already manifested, then do that. If listening to your Power Life script 7 times a day helps you to get into the spirit of feeling that, you know, many hours a day or for a long period during the day, then do that. See, that's why I am so, passionate about daily disciplines. Because daily disciplines put you into the habit of doing certain things every single day that instill that feeling within you, that builds the support system, your belief system, inside your subconscious mind, that's going to have you on autopilot. That's going to have you manifesting everything that you desire. So for some folks, they love to do certain things. Like some people are completely into a vision board. Some people are completely into mirror work. Some people are into doing meditation. And again, it doesn't matter if you're doing one of those things, 10 of those things, 3 of those things. It doesn't matter what you're doing. The most important part to manifesting is how are you feeling? So if you only did one of those things, that's all that matters. You know, I mentioned at the beginning of this call, I just finished writing Savvy Wisdom 2, the sequel to Savvy Wisdom. And here's the original version. If you haven't read this book, get this book. It's available online on all the Amazon stores because the sequel is coming out soon. And in the sequel, you'll get to know Sophie, who's the main character. That's me. It's based on my life. And Savvy is Bob Proctor. And so it's based on Sophie going through her life and her challenges and the wisdom that is provided and given to her from this incredible man named Savvy. And of course, Bob loved this book. His quote's right on the front. I just love this book so much. And he believes in this book very much, in Savvy Wisdom. Why? Because it changed my life. It changed his life. It's changed millions of people's lives, So in the Savvy Wisdom 2 version, which is coming out in March, you're going to read about how Sophie went through quite an extensive health challenge. And that was me. Because last year I went through being diagnosed with cancer and getting very sick, and I was in the hospital for a 2-week period. And so after getting out of the hospital, Sophie has a conversation with Savvy. Now, one of the things that I found fascinating is in January, and as many of you know, Bob Proctor left the earthly plane on February 3rd. On January 9th, Bob had sent me a text, because we often texted to each other. And I was telling him about Savvy Wisdom 2 and giving him an update on where things were at. And he said this. He said, Savvy Wisdom is you, meaning me, in print. And I found that interesting because I was thinking it's me and him in print, which it really is. It's his advice that I've interpreted in a certain way. But he's absolutely right. Now, did Bob ever say to me, you know, it doesn't matter that you're doing all these daily disciplines, what you really need to be focusing on is feeling? No, he never said those exact words, but I know that's what he taught, and I know that's what he meant. And so, Muriel, I'm giving you a longer version to answer your question. But the truth is, and this is what Savvy said to Sophie, even though you're in the hospital and you may not have been doing all your regular daily disciplines, it doesn't matter. As long as you were feeling the result of your wishes fulfilled or wish fulfilled. And at that time, I was focused on being healthy, like I am now, completely cancer-free, which I am now. But in my imagination, that's what I was doing at the time when I'm laying in a hospital bed. And as Neville Goddard teaches, deny the evidence of the senses, right? I mean, the cancer was all on my neck on both sides. It was in my tongue. I mean, there were a lot of tumors there, and that's what I did. I just focused on the outcome that I desired. I only gave attention to what I desire. Feeling is a secret. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it is such a beautiful answer. You're right. Absolutely. So there we go. That's the answer to that question, Muriel. Okay, now we normally go 30 minutes on our live Q&A. We're going a little bit over time today, but I hope you don't mind. I want to serve and answer all these questions. The next one is from Michelle. Any advice on visualizing being a destiny coach? What would that look like? All right, great question, Michelle. I love that you're asking that question. By the way, Destiny Coaches is a division that we have at Dynamic Destinies. And we've got a number of coaches that are out there in the world serving people using the knowledge that I provided for them through the Destiny Key program, which is the signature program that our Destiny coaches coach from. So how would you visualize that? So what would you be seeing? So this is where you tap into your imagination. So you would see yourself, first of all, serving lots of people, perhaps having hundreds and hundreds of clients. You could see yourself doing a Zoom call. Like, let's say you get in a Zoom room. And even if, this is where, Neville Goddard says, deny the evidence of the senses. So let's say, Michelle, you join our Belief Day, because we're doing this event online in March 8th. And let's say we've got thousands of people or hundreds of people that are in the Zoom room, and you're on that as a guest. What you can do is use your imagination to imagine they're all there for you, right? You can imagine that you're the teacher, you're the instructor, you're the coach, you're the one that's guiding people through, or you're the one that's taking the questions. So you imagine it, right? You visualize it. I have a client who is, one of her goals is to have 1 million subscribers on her YouTube channel. And so I said, what would you see if that were to be the outcome that you desire? You'd obviously see, I think they give you some kind of on YouTube, they give you some kind of a designation or a plaque or an emblem or something like that. You've reached the 1 million followers. And so what would you see? So you go and you look to find someone who has over 1 million followers, and you look at what their, page looks like, and you can create a mock-up. Right? A mock-up. And I've suggested this before for those that want to, they want to attract money into their life. Change your bank account balance, right? So on my desk, I keep right here, I'm not going to show you the front of this, but this is my bank account, my personal bank account. I have a few of them, a high interest savings account. And so on that, I have what my goal is, right? So I see it every single day. And I laminated it so it doesn't get dirty or, anything on it. And I made a copy that's directly beside my bed as well in our master bedroom. So I see it there, and I smile when I look at it. I smile when I go in our bedroom. I'll smile when I'm going to bed. And I don't just, have it there just for the sake of it being there. And I like having it out in the open so that I see it often. But I also like to be with it. So for example, what do you visualize? So when you look at the results that you want and you create something that's reflective of that, then what I do is I'll look at the statement that I've created, the bank statement that I created that's reflective of the goals that I've set for myself, and I use my imagination. What else am I seeing? What am I doing? Like, how am I feeling? So that is a visualization technique. And the same thing can work for when I decided that my book, Your Destiny Switch, would be on the New York Times bestseller list. I put an emblem on the book, I put it in a frame. This is long before the book was even released. And I put it right on my desk. And I stared at that every day. I didn't just sit here staring at it all day long, but it was there, and you can't help but take it in as you're moving your eyes around your room. That's why I put notes all around me, reminders. I have my goal statement right here in big font right in front of me. I have a statement over there. It says, I live in the joyous expectancy of the best. I have my wooden reminder of 4 very valuable things. Now, you've probably seen my triangle version, but I created a new version. It has 4 sides now. It says, what would I love? That's on one side. Now that my dream is fulfilled, how do I feel? That's on another side. I live in the joyous expectancy of the best. And the other one is, my success is absolutely guaranteed. And so what these things do, these tools that I've created, and as I mentioned, my vision boards right over there, is they invite an emotional response. That's the idea behind it. You want to feel the outcome. And so whatever you create, and this is what I teach my clients, whatever you can create that's going to put you into the spirit of having that which you desire is going to benefit you. So for being a destiny coach, you want to see yourself as a destiny coach. You want to see yourself earning the kind of money that you would love to be earning. You want to see your name perhaps on our website where we list the destiny coaches. If they want to be listed on our website, they're not all listed there. Some are not. As a matter of fact, Roddy, we need to update that page. And you want to see yourself, just imagine you've signed up, that we're welcoming you in, that you are now a destiny coach. Imagine seeing your name. Like, I remember, years ago, and I'll use a very simple example. We're going back to the 1980s. And as you know, I started studying with Bob Proctor in 1979. And there was a division of Toshiba. I was a national marketing manager of an office products division. And Toshiba was planning on merging 3 divisions into one. And there were national marketing managers in each of these divisions. And they were going to be getting rid of 2 of the marketing managers and keeping 1. And there was one guy that had been there forever. He was a senior guy, very well liked, very capable. And we all knew he was going to get the job, which was fine. So I decided, okay, I would like to work for this information systems division of Toshiba, which was the new up and coming division. And this is really when smart card technology was first introduced, which was a long time before anyone even knew what it was. Those little chips that you see on credit cards, that's what we were involved with back then, like way back then. And I decided I love technology and I love being on the leading edge of whatever's, hot in technology. And so I went over to meet with someone in that division. I took his business card and I took my Toshiba business card, I cut off my name and I put it on top of where his name was and put it on my refrigerator. And I just imagined myself working for that division. And so it was a visual. So same kind of thing that you could do, Michelle, is maybe create a mock-up business card, Michelle Osborne, Destiny Coach, something like that. And I ended up not only getting a job in that division, I actually got that guy's job. They fired him. Now, I didn't do that to get that guy fired. I didn't know that they were even considering firing him. And as I said, it wasn't necessarily the job that I was looking for. I wanted to work in the division. But because I had my name on top of where his name was, I ended up with his job. Kind of interesting, isn't it? I mean, it just shows you how you can manifest when you give your attention to something. But you've got to give your attention to it. It must be daily work. This isn't a once in a while, let's hop on a call Wednesday at noon Eastern time and, watch a Q&A or watch some videos. You really got to be implementing this stuff. There's an expression in English that says it's where the rubber, meets the road. I mean, it really is. I mean, this is where the life-changing occurs. And now that I know what I know, looking back, right, it's hindsight's 20/20. We have very clear vision looking back. From my 43 years of study, I now see how easy and simple it can be when you're willing to do the work, when you're willing to invest in yourself and invest the time, invest the energy in doing what we're talking about right here. All right. So I believe those are all the questions. Is that accurate, Roddy? You can let me know. Oh, wait, no, we have more. Oh my goodness, sorry, I missed the other ones. My apologies, we have 3 more questions. So I am going to go to those questions and then we're gonna wrap up for today, okay? The next one is from Clux Beauty. I hope you're well, I am terrific. Please, can I have some advice on protecting money? A lot of people in my life project their feeling onto me. Oh, protecting energy. Oh, okay, great, great. Okay, I like that question. Okay, understand this, like number 1, nobody can cause you to feel anything. I believe that when you own that, when you just say, it doesn't matter what someone else says, it doesn't matter what someone else projects on you, do not let it in. Just imagine you've got a plexiglass shield around you, and if someone says something, let it bounce off. You are in control of your mind. You're in control, nobody else, unless you give away your control. Do not do that. Don't let anyone come into your mind. Now, if you get upset, and I think a lot of people can relate to this, if someone says something to you and you get upset, maybe there's a reason you're getting upset. You might want to evaluate that. I remember one time reading that if you get upset because someone says something about you, it's because you believe it's true. Think about that for a moment. So if someone said something like you're a loser and you know you're not, why would that bother you? Why would you even allow it to bother you? You know you're not. It doesn't matter. And if someone says something that you're not in alignment with or don't agree with, you could just say, well, that's interesting that you would think that way. And that's it. That's all you have to say. That's interesting. Everybody is entitled to think the way that they think. And not everybody's going to agree with you. Not everybody agrees with me. Not everybody agreed with Bob Proctor. It is what it is. But I learned from him, from Bob Proctor, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of me. What matters most is how you think of yourself. And don't let it in. Don't let it in. Just do not allow someone else's, negative thought to influence you in any way whatsoever. You don't have to get angry about it or fight against it. Just don't let it in. You're the one that's in control. Nobody's coming into my mind with their dirty feet. I don't allow it. Not allowed. Like when I first got into personal development, and Bob Proctor was a gentleman that I met at first in January 1979. I went to a seminar that he was leading, and I was so impressed with him. And he recommended a number of books, which I bought. Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. I bought that back in January 1979. He recommended a book by Wayne Dyer called Your Erroneous Zones, which are self-destructing zones. He recommended that. I bought it. He also recommended a series of seminars that he was offering, and I signed up for it because I knew that at that time, my programming was pretty messed up and that I really needed to dedicate myself to the study. So this is really how it began. This is where the journey began. But for a long time, I would allow other people's energy to affect me. I was giving away my control. So even when I was so passionate about personal development back then and buying all the books and buying all the audios and going to every seminar that I possibly could. I was an addict in a very good way, of course. And so I want to talk about it to everybody that I knew. Well, not everybody wanted to go. Not everybody wanted to hear it. So if I would say something, they'd say, well, you're getting brainwashed. Yeah, actually, that's exactly what it is. In a good way. This is the kind of way you want to be brainwashed. I've been brainwashed. And I'm so glad for that. I'm extremely grateful for the brainwashing because as a result of the brainwashing, I've been able to manifest all the things that I've manifested in my life, which has been good, only good, wonderful, amazing things that I've manifested in my life. And so, the question, protective energy, just don't let it in. Imagine the plexiglass shield. Use that as your tool to not let it in. Okay, 2 more questions. Alexandra, how can we manifest our own dream life and finding the right models instead of living the nightmare life like our parents? I love that question, Alexandra. I mean, my parents lived a pretty miserable life. And so I would say this, find a mentor, hello, that you can learn from and study with them. Like join our Skipping Levels programs, Alexandra. You can go to my website, you'll find out more about that, or type in Skipping Levels and follow. Because as Bob would say, by their fruits you will know them. I have studied, not only Bob, I've studied many others. I've been to every program Tony Robbins has ever delivered back in the 90s. I've studied many people on success, been to many seminars. Neil Donald Walsh was someone that I had studied with. And then he became a client. Marianne Williamson was someone I studied with, and she became a client. And so that's what I would suggest. You really want to follow someone, find a great mentor, someone who really understands this stuff, and learn from them. All right, and the final question is from Moran, and the question is, how many things have you manifested? Oh my, I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea. 43 years I've been at this. I've just been manifesting, you know, result after result after result. And everything that's great in my life, I've manifested. Manifested my soulmate, my wonderful husband. We've been together 17 years. And it gets better and better every day in every way. I mean, we have the most amazing relationship that I'm so grateful for. Manifested my business, manifested the success of my business, manifested being in business with Bob for a number of years. We ran seminars together. Manifested dream home after dream home. I've manifested so many real estate results. Homes and vacation homes, homes in other countries, homes on the water. I've just manifested so many things. Manifested vehicles, many vehicles. My husband laughs at that sometimes, thinking about, you know, the Jaguar, the BMW, the Mercedes, all the cars that I've manifested in my life. I've manifested a New York Times bestseller. I've manifested 20 books. I've manifested the success, every area of my life. I manifested the health that I'm now experiencing in my life. So I don't know how many things I've manifested, but I do know this. Once you do understand what it takes to succeed and you apply it, there's no end to what you can manifest. Absolutely no end. One of the things I loved about Bob was that he often talked about better. He used the word better, and he said it's a great word. And why was he talking about better? Because he said your life can get better. It may be great right now. Mine's great right now, but it can get better. And when I think about Bob and the way that he lived his life, and because I knew him personally and had been at his home a number of times, it was only a year ago that they added an addition to their home that was a 7-figure addition. It was stunningly gorgeous, where most people probably wouldn't have bothered, you know, at that point in their life, but Bob decided that's what he wanted. He manifested in his backyard, he manifested the studio, this incredible studio that was actually a building in a building, because beyond Bob's property, there was a train, like a train track. And trains would be going back and forth, probably the CN rail would be going back and forth throughout the day. Now, if you were outside, you know, sitting by the pool, you would have heard it. You would have listened to it. But yet in his studio, you couldn't hear it at all. It was completely soundproof. And so what did Bob do? He made his life better and better and better. And you can do the same. That's absolutely what I've done, and what I will continue to do all the days of my life as well. So I want to thank you all for being here with us. We will be back next Wednesday. I believe we'll do it at 12 noon. I'm coming back from Toronto Wednesday morning. We'll take a look at the time, but we'll definitely be back with you on Wednesday next week. I'm not sure exactly what time it is, but watch for the announcement, and we'll be here to serve you, to address any questions that you may have. All right, everyone, I want to thank you. We really appreciate you guys. We love you guys. We're here to serve. And I want to thank Roddy as well for always being here, for capturing all these questions. You are very, very welcome. It's always a pleasure. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Take care.